Driver distance is the number one thing people are chasing in golf. I didn't particularly chase it, but I'm hitting the ball longer at 40 than I was when I was 20, and I'm going to show you exactly what I did to get that done. Woo! The first thing I did to hit the ball longer at 40 than I did at 20 was to go get a lesson with a pro. I used Eric Chong from Impact Golf Malaysia, and he taught me some things I never knew before. The most important thing that I learned from him was that I was not rotating. I was using force this way. I was just swaying, and when I swayed, my head swayed with me, and then I would get ahead of the ball and either hit down on it or have to flick the ball up in the air to be able to save the shot from going off the planet. So the first thing we did was establish correct impact position, which I didn't know. To compress a golf ball, this is start position, address, this is impact. I didn't know that. I thought impact was the exact same as start position. So to encourage this new impact position, he had me just pitch golf balls with a pitching wedge, feet together, feet splayed out, Charlie Chaplin, and just get titties to the target, focusing on strike out the center of the face, because if I can strike the ball better, it's going to go longer with the same swing speed. All I did was go to the range, 2 buckets, 3 buckets. That's all I did for probably about 3 to 4 months. I did not hit a single full shot on the driving range. Once I got that correct, I went back for another lesson. For my second lesson, Eric taught me about rotating into the hip. You can see all these lessons, they're linked in the description. And what he taught me now, after getting the impact position right and to help me to stop swaying with the Charlie Chaplin drill, what I now had to learn was rotation and how to actually rotate. He gave me the pocket pull and the lawnmower. So you start the lawnmower. And that move, rotating into my right hip, was so new to me. It fired the gluteus medius, it fired the hip flexors, it fired the hamstrings, and I'd never felt that before in a golf swing. But that single move, learning to rotate instead of spin, because nobody ever explains it to you. They tell you to rotate. You don't know what rotate means. You assume it means spin. But it's not. It's like a lever. Back, back. And that's how I learned to rotate and add instant power with less effort, thereby removing the effort I had to put into use my arms to generate speed. I could now reduce my John Daly swing because I no longer needed it. All the power was coming from rotating and the club and arms coming along for the ride. Now there's divots here because I didn't record the previous time I just did this. So what I had to do was get to the range and hit balls, start off with a Charlie Chaplin drill and then move on to the lawnmower or pocket pull. So I want to pull that pocket straight back there, almost into my ass. And from there, if I can feel that same firing on my backswing, wow, not the greatest strike, but that's right next to the hole. This instantly just gave me another 10 yards on my irons, instantaneously, when I got this right. Like there's no effort in that at all, because the power comes from these stupid things moving correctly. No more. I credit Eric with the biggest improvement in my swing with those fundamentals. Eric stopped teaching the golf swing a while ago, which is a real pity because I think he's one of the best in the game. And he actually focuses on club building. So what he does, he created a driver for me with a Ping G400 head he recommended and a Tour AD VR6 X-Flex shaft. Now this setup was pretty high spin with a 10-degree Ping G400 head. That was to get me in control, get me in the game, stop losing the ball right and left. But as I started getting better, I realized that the 10-degree was spinning too much, and Eric suggested I just bring the loft down to 8.5 degrees. Now, with the reduced spin from both the shaft and the head, I'm hitting the ball even further. My average drive has gone from about 280, 285 to well over 300 with this club. Okay, nice and easy, little fader, beautiful. People may not believe it, but that's okay. I'm going to shoot back from here to the guy on the tee because he's playing the same tees I was, and he's 318 yards away, waiting for me to hit because he thinks he's going to reach here. Not in a million years. Now, if you've seen some of my videos before, you know I like to use these long socks, and then what you can't see are insoles inside my shoes. It's the Victory insoles. Now, these insoles have carbon on the bottom and they don't flex like foam insoles do. So I decided to give these a try after seeing Padraig Harrington talking about them. I have them in these shoes. I've upgraded these cheap shoes to being premium shoes just with these. The biggest benefit I've seen from these is the humongous difference I have in consistency of being able to hit the ball further throughout the whole round because I'm not getting tired. With those soft insoles, I felt like I was stuck in the mud walking, getting sore spots on my feet and being really slow. The only way I can compare them to foam insoles is like, imagine you're running a 100-meter race and you have a set of starting blocks and you're running on tartan track versus someone, no starting blocks, running on a grass track. That's the difference I feel when I play with foam insoles versus these insoles. When you combine it with the socks give me so much support in the back of the leg, which helps with my recovery for the next day. I can play golf for 5 days straight. Now, I normally can't do that. I normally topple over backwards. So these socks support all the way up the back of your leg here. My lower leg recovery is supreme. My knees are less sore, my hips are less sore, keep me fresh so I can keep playing all week long. When in combination, I feel like this is a secret weapon because they're so good. I love them so much that I ordered 2 more pairs of the insoles and 2 more pairs of socks, and I'll wear them all the time. Always be skeptical of claims like this. I like to wear these all the time. I find my recovery is better, my distance is better. That's me. So what I'm going to do is give you an experiment. Yellow insoles, yellow Titleist Pro V1X, and then foam insoles, white Pro V1X. The exact same golf ball. Let's compare some drives right here. The consistency of the distance over a whole round is very significant because I used to get tired and fall and start sinking into my foam insoles and feeling very sluggish, very slow. My body recovers way better with much less pain the next day, which was one of the big things killing the enjoyment of the game for me. The best of the white balls is up here, and these balls are 15 and 20 yards further. You've got another one another 10 or 15 yards further, and the longest one is down there. That's probably about 50 or 60 yards further than the white one. So that's my experimentation with the products versus not using the products. The best white ball versus the best 2 yellow balls, no comparison. You take out the foam insert, which you can see is very floppy, very cushy, and all you do is slip your Victory in and you upgrade a very cheap pair of golf shoes to being absolutely premium deluxe. This is one of the best products I've seen in golf lately, and don't sleep on this one. Use the link in the description for 20% off your order. Absolutely money. So what happened is with my irons, with that rotation, almost stack and tilt, I picked up a lot of distance anyway. But then what I did is I removed all mechanical thoughts, and all I think about now is almost dropping the hammer on the back of the ball. Like, I imagine this club head so heavy, and all I have to do is just drop it onto the back of the ball. And that single thought alone has given me such long distances on my irons that this is a 200-yard hole. Let's see if I get a 7-iron there. 7-iron loft, whatever Tacoma standard lofts are. Absolutely money. Now don't hate me because you can't date me, but this ball landed over here. 208 yards, exactly in line with the pin. I don't play that as my stock distance, but a lot of the time I have to lie because people get triggered by my immense capability and distance that's out of control. Something that Eric didn't like to touch was grip. He doesn't really like to touch it too much. Hey, gold member. But I was looking down at my knuckle and I was deluding myself to seeing 2.5 by moving my head that way. And what I realized is my grip is very weak. He pointed it out to me and I said, no, Eric, I do want to make it back to neutral. So we worked on strengthening it back to neutral. So when I look down, I see 2.5 knuckles on my left hand instead of 1. When I have a weak grip like that with a 1 knuckle showing, I have to use my hands too much and I flip the ball into the air and I don't get great compression and good distance. A quick one about golf balls. I changed my golf ball to the Volvic S4 and the Volvic S3, and not sponsored by any golf ball company. These are the ones that I like the most. I find have matched up and go the longer distance. I love the S4 especially, and the S3 is my backup ball. Now let's see if this stuff is taken in my swing. Eric didn't overfit me into X stiff or into some heavy ass shafts, or into like a 6.5 Project X, which is very, very stiff. Well, in my opinion, he fitted me to shafts that are going to work for me every day, not just my best days. When you get overfitted, you have to be at your best to be able to hit the clubs that you've been fitted for, which in my opinion is a disservice to a golfer. The main message here is get yourself a coach, work on the fundamentals, get a better strike. The better strike is going to make the ball go further. A better technique, a better impact position is going to make the ball go left and right less. More distance with the same swing speed, with less movement left and less movement to the right, means you're going to drop your score and add distance at the same time. The distance is a side benefit, a byproduct of the improved technique and strike. That's my main message here. Get your body fixed up so that you use the muscles that you need to without any pain or discomfort, and get yourself some equipment like the Victory insoles and socks that, in my opinion, add distance and consistency and help my recovery, and find the golf ball that works the best for you after getting fitted for a great set of clubs that reduce the spin on your driver to go further and give you the optimal spin and launch angles for your irons, and you are going to hit the ball further and play better. But the byproduct is the distance. Please, it's not the distance that gives you a better score. Peace out. The results are in. Over here, this is the longest one, and it actually hasn't hit the speed slot. There's a little speed slot on this hole just over the bank over there. This is the longest yellow one. Here's two yellow ones, also not in the speed slot. It's pretty flat up here if you hit it on this line, but if you hit the ball where I hit it with the white balls, there's a speed slot down there. And even with the speed slot, the longest white one is shorter than the three longest yellow. The second longest is over here, and the third longest is down there, with one of the yellows in the speed slot down there.